Here's Ross Levinsohn. He came by to visit the Vader team. So, Ross, what are the hot trends out there
Other than Vader.
other than Vader?
Well, look, it's a fantastic time on the internet. Facebook, I think, is doing a lot of good things to jumpstart an already overheated market. A couple of things I think that are pretty interesting right now, other than this distributed application business that Facebook has helped. I still think we're at the beginning stages of user generated content, even though MySpace and YouTube have done tremendously well. I still think we're in the early game of that stage of the internet. I think virtual worlds are exciting beyond Second Life. I think there are lots of companies that are doing some pretty ingenious things in the virtual space. I think across the board on user-generated content, whether it's blogs or video or audio, there's a lot of interesting things happening. So those are some trends that I think will continue. And I do think applications and software are getting better and better for people to create. It's unlike any other time in the history of the business.
What do you think of the News Corp Dow Jones merger?
I think for News Corp and Rupert, I think it's a great deal. I think only News Corp was in the position to do the deal they just did, and knowing News Corp a little bit, I think there's probably a pretty good plan in place to how to grow the Journal's business and how to integrate it with not just the Fox Business Channel, which is coming, but News Corp is a global media company that touches, I think, almost every continent except maybe the two poles. And News Corp has over 100 newspapers around the world, and I think as part of a broad financial strategy, they're going to do great things with it.
How do you think he's going to leverage the Dow Jones properties to create? I don't know. Do you think he's going to? Do you think he's really going to integrate the Dow Jones properties into this business channel that he's creating?
I think that's one part. Interestingly enough, one thing that went somewhat overlooked, I think, in all the chatter about the deal and the print version of the Wall Street Journal is between the Wall Street Journal Online and Market Watch and some of the other properties they have, Barron's. The online properties in that deal are tremendous, and I think it just goes to further bolster the News Corp internet presence. I really think the Journal Online is a gem, and Market Watch, which you know very well, Bambi, also is a tremendous get as part of the deal.
So you recently announced your new venture, Velocity Capital. Tell us about that venture. How did that come to be? And you formed it with Jonathan Miller, the former executive over at AOL. How'd you guys get together and come up with this idea?
John and I have known each other, I think, going back to the 80s, not to date ourselves. John was at the NBA, and I was also working in sports at the time. And we've stayed fairly friends for the last 15 or so years, and the last 5 or so with him at AOL and me at News Corp. We had the opportunity to try to do business together and also compete. We both left our companies within, I think, 2 days of one another, and sat down in Los Angeles shortly thereafter, had a drink, started talking about the business and the future of the business, and we agreed on most things right off the bat. In fact, as we both went after different companies in our previous jobs, I actually ended up losing a couple of acquisitions to him and vice versa. So we have a very similar viewpoint on the business, and it was almost a really simple, natural coming together between the two of us, and we got pretty excited about trying to build something together. Over the last 5 months or so, it evolved into a real interesting idea, and we managed to partner up with one of the top private equity companies in the world, in General Atlantic, and we're pretty excited about what we can do.
Now, what's your role when you invest in companies? Are you going to be providing more than just money?
Well, we're just starting. We're a little more than a week old in our announcement, and the idea is that between John and I, we have more than 20 years of experience in the internet and almost 40 years of experience in media as a whole. So we both run big and small companies. John's background beyond when he worked at the NBA, he was with Viacom, he was with Barry Diller, what is now IAC, and then obviously AOL for the last 4 years. And I've been through 4 different internet companies, including Fox and Alta Vista. And we think we bring some good experience, having succeeded across the board in a couple of different companies. And also, we've learned a lot of lessons over the last decade or so on the internet. So we think we can bring more than just capital. We really believe we have a viewpoint on the internet as a whole, and can help foster companies, and can help develop companies, and can help grow companies top to bottom.
Okay. So what are you looking for? What types of investments are you looking for? What types of companies are you looking to invest in or acquire?
Well, I don't think there's one set standard legal sheet of paper that says the company has to fit these few criteria. I think if you do that, you're going to limit yourself. And we're just starting, and we're starting to look at big and small companies. We're talking to some people who have some ideas for things they'd like to start. The premise is that we can develop strategies and help grow and build businesses with entrepreneurs. We both really like doing that, and think it's a tremendous time in the business. And so with a little guidance, some capital, and some strategy, we think we might be able to build something that's pretty interesting over the next few years.
So are you looking at user-generated? You talked about the top trends earlier. So are you looking at user-generated? Are you looking at online video? Where are sort of the top 3 areas that you're most interested in?
Well, again, I don't think you can limit. Obviously, video is going to play a major role in the future of not just the internet, but wireless devices, mobile devices, game devices. So that's interesting. The ability to monetize sites, content sites, consumer-oriented sites is important.
So advertising sites.
Yeah,
sites.
John did arguably one of the best deals in the history of the internet around advertising when he bought advertising.com. Mm-hmm. He really knows the space well, and it's transforming every day. Mm-hmm. We're reading about lots of deals all the time in the ad space. So it's something, of course, you have to look at if you want to monetize businesses. So we're looking at that as a starting point. And really, we've gotten a tremendous amount of inbound interest from companies. Joking aside, Vader's a great place to look at what some of the new trends are on the internet and companies that are starting. So, I think you have to be really proactive, A, not limiting yourself, but B, looking at as many places as you can for the next thing.
So they should probably get in touch with you on Vader, right?
Sure. I'm there, as you know. I'm there. So, and I'm here in this beautiful palatial office.
So are you bullish, bearish on Vader?
Oh, come on, rocking.
All right. Good luck, Ross.
Thanks, Mammy.